Folks, a very good morning to each and every one of you, and welcome to FYI. It is a very, very sad Monday morning, Monday the 22nd day of May. And as we come on, as our lower third, or as our graphic says, we're going to be focusing primarily this morning on the Mahdia Secondary School, the girls' dormitory, that horrific fire that occurred there overnight, and we're going to be talking about that. But we want to encourage you guys, as per normal, you come on, we share the live, and you do what you got to do, folks. Ensure that you share the live, and we're just making sure we got so many moving pieces this morning as we come on. We just want to make sure that we have everything in order, and that is our encouragement to you guys as you join us this morning. Share the live wherever you're coming in from, and we are getting set to go at our end. As we said, you will definitely forgive us this morning. We have a number of moving parts in our program this morning, so forgive us if everything doesn't move smoothly as we try to pull things together at our end to ensure that you folks have valid and credible information. Again, welcome to FYI. Wherever you're joining us from this morning, we are great to have you folks here with us. Wherever you're joining us from this morning, welcome to FYI, and we're going to be bringing you as much as we know at this hour. We're going to be bringing you as much as we know at this hour. So, folks, again, we are just getting all the pieces together at our end, as we say, as we reflect, and as we try to give you as much information as we have at this hour on what's happening there in Mahdia. As we said, overnight, a horrific fire at the Mahdia Secondary School. They tell us this is the girls' dormitory. Again, this is a horrific fire happening that has happened overnight at the Mahdia Secondary School, the girls' dormitory. And again, we're trying to give you as much information, and we apologize from the onset if everything doesn't go as smoothly as we would like it to. We're dealing with a number of moving parts this morning, guys. But let's bring you the information that we have at hand. We were, as we got up to the news, much of the nation, we saw news sources' very own Gordon Mosley. He was on the ground there at the Ogle Airport, where there were a number of officials out there trying to get a handle on things. And he had some information to share, which we want to pass your way, as well as we know it's equally valid and credible information. Again, our thoughts and our prayers are with the folks at Mahdia, the entire township of Mahdia. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the folks at that end. We want to bring you some of what we're covering from that side. Horrific fire. They're telling us at least 20 persons have perished in this inferno at the Mahdia Secondary School, the girls' dormitory, and we're hearing that that number could increase. We know that there are efforts on the way to evacuate persons from Mahdia who have sustained injuries as a result of this fire to the capital city here in Georgetown. There are efforts on the way to move those persons. We also are hearing that the inclement weather at that end is proving very, very difficult. We're going to have a couple of folks joining us this morning, but before we head into that, let's show you some of what we know at this time about that fire. Again, as I said, a number of moving pieces at our end. So our apologies if everything does not move as smooth as we might want it to. So guys, we beg of you to bear with us as we try to bring you as much as we can concerning that fire there. So forgive us, give us a quick sec, we're trying to get all of that information for you. And as I said, this is some of the information that we have coming out of Mahdia. Horrible, horrific, tragic fire there at the Mahdia Secondary School, the girls' dormitory. And again, they're telling us about 20 persons lost their lives. We don't have a clear sense as yet whether all of those are students, and hence we're saying persons, but 20 persons have lost their lives. Here's some of what we know at this time.
Wait, people there in there? No, we're standing in the park now. Don't more than much left in this one. I'm here not back by the door, no. This is who do you really, man? I mean, no. This is really fucked up mother squad. Really fucked up. Really fucked up. Yeah. What? That's it. It's really fucked up. You really do the same, man. Yeah, we did that. Oh, wow. I see you going here. You got choked there, boy. Don't wet the skin there. Right there. That one boy, no friend. Pull up there. There one there. Right here. What's the roof? What's the roof? You got a couple of them right there for me to do. What's that number? Some people is looking at one over. What is one thing to put up? Some people is going to come to them. What? It's better watching everyone stuff like that, boy. What more is going to see?
Yeah, that's some of what we witnessed early on in the wee hours of the morning. Again, those of you who are now joining us, a special broadcast of FYI this morning. We're focusing primarily on that fire at the Mahdia Secondary School, the girls' dormitory. I think that's the information that we have at hand. They're telling us there are 20 numbered among the dead at this hour, and that number could go up. We're going to get some additional information on that, but they're telling us 20 persons are dead. And we did see Gordon Mosley from News Source, another credible and valid place for information. And he was on the ground at Ogle this morning when some of that effort was undergoing to bring folks from Mahdia to get medical attention here in the city. And this is some of what Gordon would have reported coming out of the Ogle airport there on the East Coast. This is some of what Gordon said on his broadcast.
Right now, you would have heard about the tragedy at the Mahdia Secondary School dormitory that's in Region 8, where a devastating fire this evening or this late last night has left several children dead and several more injured. There's now a massive Medivac operation about to take place. So we have planes leaving from Ogle to bring out the injured. Several students badly injured, and of course, we're tracking the story. The Medivac was delayed because of the weather conditions. As you know, it's been raining pretty heavily all night, and so they've been waiting and holding on to the weather to clear up. But we have military personnel and medical personnel now heading into the Mahdia community to assist. We have President Fanales out here, the National Security Advisors out there, the head of the armies out here. We also have firemen being dispatched into Mahdia to see what other assistance they can offer. Again, if you're now joining us, we're tracking a major story happening in the Mahdia community where a fire late last night completely gutted the dormitory facilities at the Mahdia Secondary, leaving several children dead. There's no official count as yet, but we're hearing several children are dead, and they're now rushing medical supplies and also rushing medical personnel to ferry out those who are badly injured. Of course, Mahdia is a small mining community in the Region 8, and so we have Medivac about to take place. You see them taking facilities to go on board the planes that have so far they were held back because of the weather situation. So they've been waiting for it to clear up a bit, and I think they're now getting a little go ahead to start sending in the planes to ferry out those who are injured. Of course, you're seeing the medical teams here at Ogle about to leave to head in to assist those doctors and other medical personnel who are already on the ground there in Mahdia. And as you see there, they're rushing medical supplies into the area. You see they're carrying in oxygen because they'll have to bring out many of those students, and I understand some caregivers too, who are badly injured in that fire. As we know so far, several students are dead, several others badly injured as a result of that fire at the dormitory facilities at the Mahdia school. And so the weather is now clearing up, and so they're now able to safely dispatch a medical evacuation team. They're sending in doctors and other medical personnel to assist the hospital up here in Mahdia, stabilize those patients, and then get them out. Mahdia, of course, is located in Region 8, and so they're trying to access them. You're seeing military personnel on the ground, firemen on the ground, and they're all heading into the community. We have one plane heading out, and another one is loading up with supplies. You're seeing for one of the planes that's heading in so far, they've removed the seats because it's been converted into an ambulance facility to safely medivac those who are badly injured. It's a tragic story, a tragic Sunday night story into Monday morning. That tragedy at the Mahdia Secondary School. President Fanali out here, along with the Minister of Home Affairs. He's out here too, and the National Security Advisor, Mr. Jerry Gavaya, as well as the new Chief of Staff, Brigadier Omar Khan. They're all out here as they begin this emergency medical evacuation. And so in the Mahdia community now, we're being told that they're now lighting the runway. Of course, there's a small runway in that community, and with the weather conditions, so they might have to put some emergency lighting in place out there to guide the planes as they rush in to take the medical personnel in to stabilize those patients, those children who are badly burned before they can begin to move them out. So they're going to stabilize them. That's what you're seeing. They're taking oxygen in and added supplies to assist the Mahdia hospital And once they get them in there, they're also going to be stabilizing them and then bring them out here to Georgetown for the better medical facilities at the Georgetown Hospital. So we have the planes taking off here from Ogle. I understand too that there's going to be the military helicopter is going to be dispatched also. That might probably leave from to Mary, but we're here at the Ogle Airport where they're now heading out to take in medical supplies, and we're seeing some doctors on board to go into Mahdia to assist with what is a very, very tragic story. Several children dying as a result of a fire when they were asleep at a dorm facility. The cause of that fire is unknown. Many of the children, we're told, were trapped in the facility when the fire started and couldn't get out. Of course, it would have some grill work, but some of them couldn't get out. I was told that in one part of the facility, they found a number of the children, they were clumped together as if they were, trying to protect each other, but they all died. It's a very tragic story that we're just out here really trying to piece together. And as you see, the second aircraft is about to leave. The doctors and other medical personnel are on board this aircraft. The flight to Mahdia, with the weather condition, uh, I would presume it would be probably less than half an hour or just thereabouts. But they're trying to get all the medical personnel and teams in there to begin getting them out. But first, as I mentioned, they have to stabilize those who are injured. And that's why you saw they move some of the seats out of one of the planes, because it's going to be doubling as an ambulance, an air ambulance, to get those persons out. We have President Air Finale out here, and we're going to try to get a quick briefing from him about the situation so far. It's a very, very tragic story. We're coming to you from Ogle as we track this story. And you see young Captain Jerry Govaya Jr. He's going to pilot this other aircraft. By now,
Folks, if you're joining us this morning, we are covering specifically the horrific and tragic events unfolding in Mahdia in Region 8. This is the fire at the Mahdia Secondary School's girls' dormitory, which they tell us have claimed about 20 lives, and they're telling us that that figure could go up. We were listening there and watching Gordon Mosley reporting for News Source on the relief efforts that are underway out of the Ogle International Airport there on the East Coast. Earlier this morning, Irfan Ali was on the ground there and also took the opportunity to speak with Gordon Mosley. And this is some of what Irfan Ali said that is happening. There's some of the comments out of the President, Irfan Ali, this morning, again at Ogle International Airport.
Very horrific circumstances that we're out here. We are now working on ensuring that we do everything possible to help the children. We know there are a number of children at the hospital. The weather is very bad. We've been trying to mobilize, but notwithstanding that, the Roraima Airways, the GDF, and one Transcan plane that was already in the location are responding. Once the weather gives an opportunity, planes will be able to land. We're setting up an emergency center here. Everything is being set up in Georgetown here to receive the critical children and those who are severely injured. What we know is that definitely is horrific. The full result of what took place is not available yet. That is not the concentration now. Concentration now is on the children and to see and to ensure that we do everything to give them as much help as we can, and that is what we're doing right now. So I think in the next couple of or less than an hour, we'll know how many children we're talking about. What I know is that we have 3 who are critical, um, 3 who are critical, and 2 severely injured. So the concentration is on that now. We have some of them with severe burns, and of course, the number who would not have made it is still to be determined. They are doing that work on the ground now. But I want to say that this is a horrific incident. It is tragic. It's painful. I cannot imagine the pain right now of the parents, of the children, as a country. We have dealt with this morning, and we have to together support this family.
I know, as you said, we're still in the early stages. But we saw medical personnel are also being taken in to assist those medical personnel on the ground too.
Yeah, so it's a full-scale medical joint service effort with the private sector. So we are sending all the possible medical personnel that can assist in the situation. And we've also sent in a medical team to accompany the Medivacs back out. We're also now preparing to set up a full-scale emergency response here. So when the plane comes in, I've also directed that a special arrangements be made at Ocean View and at Georgetown Hospital, so that every single child who requires attention, we give them the best possible opportunity to get that attention.
You know, many of the children, sir, are from those outlying communities across Region 8 that were staying at that dorm. What efforts are going to be made to make contact with the parents? This late at night, it will be difficult to make contact to some of those villages. So it's going to be tough for them.
This is a very difficult situation, Gordon. And whatever it takes, we have to do it. We have to get to those parents. First of all, we have to get to the numbers, the names. We have to get this right. And then we have to get to the parents. We have to get to the children. We have to get psychologists. We have to get counselors. This is not. This is a major disaster. This is horrific. It's painful, and it's as you said, it's many responses that has to occur at the same time, and we're putting all of that in place.
Welcome back, and we're covering, guys, the events unfolding there in Mahdia, Region 8, and some of the information we have at hand. That was Irfan Ali at Ogle Airport this morning. The efforts are ongoing to bring those who are injured out of Mahdia to receive medical attention in Georgetown. That is the effort, and to bring whatever support the government can to relatives and family and so on in Mahdia of those who perished in that fire. They're telling us about 20 persons would have lost their lives thus far. We don't know if all are students, and we're being told that figure can go up. Additionally, some of what we are covering at our end, they're telling us the opposition did release a statement. The Shadow Minister of Education put out a statement earlier on today. In that statement, Member of Parliament Natasha Singh Lewis, who is the Shadow Minister of Education, said that the opposition is deeply saddened by the news of the fire that has engulfed the school dormitory there at Mahdia, taking the lives of several of the students. Our hearts go out to the families and loved ones of those who have been affected by this tragedy. And that is part of the statement released by the Shadow Minister of Education, MP Natasha Singh Lewis. Also in that statement, she says that we stand together. This is the opposition. We stand together in this moment of sorrow, and we offer our support to the family of the victims of the victims, and the entire community affected by this tragedy. And that is part of this statement that was released by the Shadow Minister of Education, that is Natasha, a member of Parliament, Natasha Singh Lewis. And we do have joining us some folks from the region who are going to be bringing us some more updates as to precisely what is happening. We have some folks, I think we're going to be joined by the mayor of Mahdia, David Adams, and we're going to be joined also by the Deputy Mayor, Joanne Barrows. I think they're the persons who are going to be joining us this morning. We may have other folks who are joining us as well. We did say as we were coming on that everything may not work as smoothly as we want it to, so you will forgive us on that front if it doesn't, but we are about to change paces just a little bit to ensure that we have those persons that are able to join us now. Give us a quick sec, and we should have that for you. Folks, give us a quick sec, and we should have that for you. Apologies again if everything does not go as smoothly as we would want it to. Apologies there. And we're trying to shift paces just a little bit. All right, and I think all right, just want to make sure we're able to bring them in without undue delay. Folks, as I said, we are going to be joined by the mayor and I think the deputy mayor out of Region 8. I think we have them. A very good morning.
Good morning, Sherwood. Good morning, listeners.
All right, let's make sure we can hear them. Good morning.
Good morning, Sherwood. Good morning, listeners. I have with me here I have with me here the deputy mayor.
Good morning to you, Sharon.
A very good morning. Go right ahead. Tell us what you guys know. You guys are on the ground there. Give us a sense of what you know at this hour. Thanks for being on.
Okay. The situation, as you rightfully said, the current death figure is 20. Like you said, that can increase. We don't know as yet because there are injured persons in Georgetown. So the last figure we got is 20 dead. All right. Currently on the ground, we have the Prime Minister is here along with 2 other ministers. And our information is that the President should be here by midday. And this visit here is to address the parents and the kids who were involved in the fire. All right. The fire started around 10 to 11 or so. I got there about an hour after because I was only informed at that time. And when I got there, the entire building was already engulfed. All right. The fire tender, we have 1 fire tender here in Mahdia, just 1. And that, as you can imagine, was not enough. It was unable to extinguish the fire on its own. The problem is that there is no water mains or fire hydrants in the area where the dorms is located. All right. So they had to be shuttling water with the fire tender in order to extinguish the fire. And that took some time. All right. So it was difficult for them to extinguish the fire as they should. Good. The other thing too, the building was grilled up. Doors and windows were grilled up. And apparently, the confusion that ensued after the fire took place, right, caused these children, the majority of the children, to be trapped in that building. Good? So that is what, I will leave it there for now. And I think the deputy would like to also add some things that she knew took place.
Go right ahead, Deputy Mayor Joel.
Yes, Sharon, thank you. I received a call at 11:15 from the previous chairman, Mr. Bonaventure. And he asked me if I have any knowledge of a fire at the dorms. I said to him no, and he said he got a call from somebody in that vicinity, claims there's a fire at the dorms. Immediately, I came off the phone from speaking with him. I called the the officer in charge here for the fire service, that would be Mr. Ryan Scott. And he replied, he answered the phone and he said to me that he just got, somebody just came there and with a vehicle to tell him that there's a fire. And that is around 11:20 something, around 11:23 or so. So with that, in my opinion, I think that probably the fire just started. I have some relative living just behind the dorms, my niece and her mom. So I made a call to her and she indicated to me that, Auntie, I'm heading towards the front. I'm seeing some smoke, a lot of smoke. And then she said, oh my God, there is fire. And I said to her, okay, just go and see what's happening. She said, okay. I call her back while I'm dressing, getting some clothes on. And the same time I heard the fire reel heading up because they're living in the same area where I'm living, heading up to the hill where the dorms area. And I called her back. I said, the fire reel is coming there. And she said, oh my God, Auntie, but while I'm dressing, I can hear the squeal of kids. And I said, you know what? Probably they're just trying the confusion. They're just trying to get this stuff out and they just keep it instead of noise. And she said, no, Auntie, these children are locked in this place. They can't get out. She said, and we're trying to get them out right now. I said, okay, I'm coming. I head down to that area. And when I reach that area, like the mayor said, the building was almost engulfed. They have on the left-hand side of that building, they have two rooms there, of which, like I said, the grill was on the doors and the windows. The guys around, the minors, my nephews and my brothers, they took a plank and they start to break the walls of the dorms to get those girls out. And as they break the walls, they get to pull out a couple of them. As the girls come out, they were like fireballs, their head, their backs, everything with fire. And these boys pulling them out and get them into the police vehicles, into the ambulance. I have my vehicle there. My vehicle took some of them. And that is how they get to rescue those girls that was at the hospital. They had to break the concrete wall to get in there. And while that was done, the last person that was rescued, she was shot. A bed was on her. They got the guys running and they themselves that risk their lives to get the bed off of her and pull her out and they get them on the vehicle. But while we were standing there when they got those guys going to the hospital, we can literally see the other kids in that building burning. It is sad. It is sad. It's not something that no human being would like to witness.
You guys are familiar with this area. Maybe as an estimate, how many students, how many girls are housed in the dormitory?
Okay, I can give you that figure. The roll call last evening for the girls in the dorms was 60. 60.
And we've lost
All
at least 20. Yeah.
Yeah, I got, they give me, the police commander give me, just now, hold on.
Do
Okay.
you also have a
The
sense?
last count was 60, all right, that they had given me, and they had counted for 44 when I got there. They could have come for 44 of those 60.
And,
all right?
and the 20 deceased were among those 44?
No.
Only 12 was accounted for.
Only 12.
Oh,
was
12 were
unaccounted.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, of the 60, 44 were accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
All right? 12 were unaccounted for. They were in the building burning. And 4 were confirmed dead. All right? When I got there. You understand?
Could you guys give us a sense, maybe as much as you know, why the building might have been locked in this manner? Is that a norm?
Well, I visited the dorms on more than one occasion. At one occasion, I visited because the dorm's father asked me to make some intervention for him to the Mahdia power light because there were some electrical wires that were very low in the yard. The dorms usually had at the windows, they usually had mesh, the fine mesh, and then they would put boards because what the kids usually do is kick out those mesh. And they put boards just to barricade from them kicking the mesh. It was new to me when I went there last night to see those sturdy grills on the windows. And mind you, the mesh used to be only on the windows. The doors used to be free. They hadn't no grills on those doors. So it was a surprise to me when I appeared at the dorm site last night that the doors, the windows and doors, the grill, and besides that, not being grilled, it was locked. It was locked. So my first question was, if you're going to grill the windows and the doors, where is the emergency? Where when you have emergency, where does these kids go? And if you look in the photograph, when they find the bodies, everybody was at the back door. They're running to get out. And then it is alleged that the keys was another situation to get the keys to actually open the doors.
What have you learned on that front?
Pardon me?
What have you learned on that front in terms of trying to get the keys?
The keys, it was said that the keys, to get the keys to open the grill doors, the dorm's father or mother couldn't find those keys. I don't know if it's because of the confusion. I don't know what it was, but they couldn't find those keys. And it has proven that it's got to be the fact, because even to when the building burning and these guys running and the building burn and those doors, the doors that are grilled stand firm till now. Even the fire service, that's a question they're asking. Mind you, they're having a grill, but why is it that it's locked? And these kids are locked in like prisoners.
Yeah.
There was nowhere they can get out. The guys, like I said, broke the concrete and they pull out who they can pull out.
For the folks who are now joining us, we are joined by the mayor of Mahdia. This is where this tragedy has unfolded, Region 8, Mayor David Adams, and we have the deputy mayor as well, Joanne Burrows, with us, giving us an update. Mr. Mayor, I may have missed it somewhere in the fog of information this morning, but do we have any sense from the fire service and the ground day police and so on, what may have started this fire?
No. That is still to be determined.
Still to be determined.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor and Deputy as well, you mentioned as you were giving us the update, there was one fire tender on the ground there. Is that a norm? Has that been the modus operandi?
Well, since the establishment of the fire department up here, all right, there has been one fire tender. Whether there are plans to have more fire tender assigned to the area, I don't know. But there's one fire tender with its component of fire servicemen.
And how many fire servicemen do you estimate are on the ground there?
They have about 9 or 10. They have enough fire servicemen to attend to that particular fire tender.
And
the strength is up to speed.
Could you give us a sense also in terms of the size of the building that we're talking about, the girls' dormitory there?
It's about 40 feet by 100 feet. Flat concrete building.
Have you had a chance thus far to talk with some of the parents maybe of these students? What is happening on the ground currently in Mahdia as regards this tragic fire?
All right. Currently, like I said, there is a delegation of ministers in Mahdia. I accompanied them to the hospital when they arrived. The Prime Minister, I know, had a chat. The Prime Minister and the Minister of Education had a chat with those parents who were there. Okay. They visited the injured in the hospital, and then subsequently they left for the secondary school area. Right? I left them in order to be on this Zoom meeting with you. So the situation now is that I think they're preparing for the arrival of the president. And he has asked that all parents from the other sub-region Come, mind you, these kids are not kids who reside in Mahdia proper. They're children that were brought to school here and are housed at the dorms, and they came from Sub-Region 1, which is Chinopao and these other places, and Kupinang and these other places outside of this sub-region, and from a place you call Maikobi, which is within this sub-region. All right? And they're housed there. So he has made arrangements, I understand, for those parents to be shuttled across so he can address them when he arrives here this midday. And perhaps to console and give them what assurances the government has for them. All right, so that's the current situation on the ground right now.
In terms of what, go ahead.
The dead, they're in the mortuary. I understand that there's to make arrangement to have them, because it's a very small mortuary. I think there's arrangements to be made to have them taken to Georgetown.
Okay.
That's the current situation.
What is happening in terms of the hospital? I'm trying to get a sense in for the viewers to what exactly is happening on the ground. Is the hospital capable, for instance, with the kind of injuries coming out of this horrific fire?
I will say they tried their best. It's the first time such a situation has arisen for the staff. And from my observation, I think they tried their best. All right?
All right. All right.
They were attended to. The injured were given their preliminary examination and bandages and so on, and transported to the airport to be transported to Georgetown. My observation is they tried their best. They, of course, the use of oxygen, they had to purchase some oxygen. You know, of course, the use of oxygen is important. So I think they acquired that from a gas station just nearby. So they could.
All right. All right. Mr. Mayor and Deputy Mayor, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Folks, we have been talking, as you heard there, with the Mayor and Deputy Mayor of Region 8. Well, Mahdia in particular, the township of Mahdia. And this is David Adams and Joanne Burrows, respectfully. I want to thank both of you for stopping by and giving us this update.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us, Sherrod.
No trouble at all. Thank you, folks. All right, and we're going to be joined now by, we have the leader of the opposition and leader of the People's National Congress Reform is going to be joining us. And also we have the General Secretary of the Ghana Teachers Union, Member of Parliament, Coretta MacDonald, is going to be joining us as well. I can see Coretta joining us on 2 devices. I'm going to ask her to just join us on 1 because we might have a feedback. And as soon as the leader of the opposition is ready, well, let me take the opportunity to help her coming with one of those devices. And we have, as I said, we have the General Secretary of the Ghana Teachers Union and Member of Parliament, Coretta MacDonald. Ms. MacDonald, give us your thoughts.
Good morning to you, Sherwood, and good morning to your listening audience. I don't know. I'm lost for words. As a matter of fact, I was on my way returning to Georgetown from the quarantine, and I got a call at about 11:15 last night. And from 11:15 to about 3:30 this morning, I was up, back and forth with our teachers on the ground, back and forth with some parents on the ground. This is one of the most tragic incidents that we have seen across this country. I know we would have had the Camp Street fire, but the fact here, this thing here is that children, innocent children, potential children, as a matter of fact, girls with potential, their lives have been snuffed out senselessly, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
As a mother, I'm not sure what words the president, the minister of education, or any one of them would have been able to say to me to bring any sort of comfort. Knowing that I would have sent my child to school to be entrusted in their care And then I'm waking up to this kind of news, because you know, in those far-reaching areas, we don't have connectivity all the time. We don't have electricity all the time. And so while some parents might have gotten the message during last night, many of them this morning, very early this morning, is what they're waking up to. At this time, Sherrod, the GTU is at a loss, let me say that. And our prayers and our thoughts are with the teachers, with the parents and the students. As a matter of fact, the entire community of Mahdia and Guyana, our prayers and thoughts are with them. But I want to say this, Sherrod.
Go right ahead.
You know, every year we have a budget, and a whole host of monies are allocated to education. Lots and lots of monies, billions of dollars are allocated to the Ministry of Home Affairs. Billions of dollars are allocated to the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, local government. And for our children to have to die in this way, from the president right down, should be made to answer for this. You have children in a dorm facility, all caged up as if they're prisoners. The circumstances under which these children met their death, these girls, there's no explanation for that. Now, if we have to grill the dorm facility, which inspector was there to give approval that this kind of grilling is appropriate? Which inspector? Which regional education officer, whoever was there to inspect and to give approval that the work that would have been done there is fitting for human beings to be there? Who would have given the approval to have the doors padlocked? Both entrances. I mean, common sense would tell us that if we are housing students, or even in your own homes, then the grills should be made in a way that you can lock and you can unlock them. If we look at, last night on my way back to Georgetown, I am hearing screams from those girls in the dorms because they were running helter-skelter. And if you look at some of those videos closely, you're going to see some of them, they died there holding on to grills because they were trying to remove those grills. The Minister of Education must answer for this. The Minister of Home Affairs must tell us why only one fire engine you have in the community of Mahdia. The Minister of Local Government must tell us why we don't have enough security around that building. You know, these unanswered questions must be answered. People must stop going around this place, flouncing themselves around and doing all kinds of craziness and making all kinds of wild statements when there are important things for us to do. We don't find the time to do important things. Now 20 children have lost their lives. And you know what is going to happen? They're going to go there and pretend as though they're so sorry, and we're going to cover all the funeral expenses, and we're going to do some extra. But would that bring back the lives of these children? Imagine a 5-year-old boy perished in that fire. This is a tragedy that will continue to live with us for the rest of our lives. I hope, though, that those who have been burnt, they are going to receive the best of best medical treatment. And even if it means that we have to fly them out of Guyana, that should be done. I am hoping, too, that the best of counseling is going to be given to not only the students there, but to the teachers and members of that community. More than that, Sherrod, we have CXC. This is in the midst of CXC. How are the other students going to be able to concentrate to write their exams? How are they going to be able to do that? Now, this here is not only about what has happened in education, but this here is affecting the entire community of Mahdia. It's affecting other communities because parents who are having their children in dorms, living in dorms, they're now going to start having second thoughts about whether my child should remain there. And I'm hoping that this incident would serve as a learning experience for us, so that the Minister of Education would take time off with her officers to go and visit every single dorm facility that we have across this country and ensure that proper systems are in place. Sharon, I know when we were at school, we used to have fire drill. Wasn't there any bit of that done, or isn't that being done when we have people's children living in the dorms? Don't we have those kinds of things to let the children know if there's an emergency, what are the things that they should be doing, where they should be heading for first? I mean, this here is it's way beyond what we can even try to explain. And I'm hoping that the Minister of Education, the Prime Minister, the President, that they have answers to give to us, because this here, it's not going to be taken lightly. And you know what? The small man at the back, at the back there, or at the bottom there, that's the man that we are going to try to make the sacrificial lamb, while the big fishes will go scotch-free. But I'm hoping that very soon we'll be able to receive a report on what exactly would have caused this fire, and persons are going to be held accountable for this strategy.
Madam
Again,
Jill,
on behalf of the GTU, we extend our sincerest condolences to the people of Mahdia, to the immediate families, to the schools which those, the Mahdia Secondary School that those girls belong to, or they're students of, and to all of Guyana. Our prayers are with you, and we trust that in this time of grief, that the government would see it fitting to accommodate and allow the opposition members of parliament to gain access when we ask permission to visit some of these schools, to check on the dorm facilities, to check the hospitals, and everywhere else. I'm hoping that sense will come out of this. And on this occasion, we can all stand together as one, as politicians, not only as politicians, but as citizens of this country. We can stand together on these issues and ensure that this never happens again.
Madam General Secretary, I want to thank you. Stay with us. We're being joined by the Leader of the Opposition. I know he's having some technical challenges at his end, but even if we have the audio, Leader of the Opposition, Leader of the PNCR, Mr. Aubrey Norton, a very good morning, sir, and welcome. What are your initial thoughts? Are you concerned about the spate of fires now we've had at our secondary schools over the last 2 or 3 years? Chase Academy in 2020, North Ramvelt Multilateral in 2021, Northwest Secondary School, September 2021, St. George's High School in July of last year, Christchurch Secondary School in January of this year, Mahdia Secondary, the dormitory which we're discussing this morning, the girls' dormitory. Are you concerned, Leader of the Opposition? Do we have his audio? Go right ahead, sir. All right. Cross it, jump right in until we can have the Leader of the Opposition.
Sharon, as you were saying, it is quite alarming. Again, with the PPP around, 6 fires, 20 lives. Every time the PPP are sitting, or every time the PPP is sitting in office, this is what we get: fire, more fire, murders, accident. It is saying something to us that something isn't right with these people. It is saying that something isn't right. 6 fires between 2020 and 2023, 20 lives, and this is only for fire. What about the lives that have been lost on the roads? What about those murders that we've been having? What is happening? And billions upon billions of dollars, let me say that, are being doled out at every budget. Plus, we're having supplementary budgets, more billions of dollars, many more. And this is what we as a people have to go through. You go to bed at night in the middle of your sleep, you're hearing something. Just the other day, Smalley on the loose.
I was just about to add that. We haven't had a chance to talk about that. This is Mark Roylan Williams, who escaped from the Mazzaroni prison just over, I think on Friday.
Yes, Friday.
We haven't had a chance to talk about that as yet because we've been, again, detained by this very, very tragic news. We're waking up to this morning. At least 20 lives lost at the Mahdia Secondary School. I think we have the leader of the opposition joining us now. Let's see if we can have him come in. Leader, do we have you?
Yes, I'm here.
Go right ahead, sir. What are your initial thoughts on this tragic fire?
First of all, the APNUAFC wishes to express our condolences to the families, friends, the Mahdia families, as we mourn the loss of lives of our children, and to state that we are deeply saddened by the loss of lives. We wish all those that are injured a speedy recovery and express our support and gratitude to the medical, in the joint services, and others who are engaged in the process of treating the injured, helping them, and we hope that there are no more fatalities. We also wish to express gratitude to the people of Mahdia who worked assiduously to rescue the children trapped in the Mahdia Secondary School. Our gratitude also to the Mayor and Deputy Mayor of Mahdia for their compassion and positive involvement in helping to give leadership during these trying times. We continue to keep the situation under review and will make a full statement at a later time as we demand a thorough investigation into this horrific incident that has resulted in the loss of innocent young lives. That statement we will issue shortly. This incident is indeed horrific. We believe that the Education Ministry, which has safe protocols for children in school, we believe that the Public Works Ministry, which is responsible for the building code, etc., the Ministry of Health, that is responsible for having supplies, medical supplies, etc., all of them will come under scrutiny. And at the right time, we will ask the appropriate questions because we believe in the final analysis, there must be accountability for what happened here. It is our young, innocent children who believe that as a government, as a state, they were in good hands, and therefore we will ask the appropriate questions. We know for a fact that people are mourning today, and so I'm not inclined to get into the deep political and other questions that need to be asked. Today, I'm hoping that we all can be in solidarity with each other. I'm hoping that there are no more deaths. And I'm hoping that all can work together to ensure that the community of Mahdia is supported. The communities in the sub-region that they're from are supported, and that we work together to ensure that nothing like this happens again.
Thank you very much for those initial thoughts, Leader of the Opposition. General Secretary, do you have a sense what is going to obtain today, perhaps in terms of schools in that sub-district there in Mahdia? Do you have a sense whether they'll suspend schools or any recommendations out of the GTU, perhaps?
Well, the GTU has recommended that all schools be closed today. The fact is, even though the schools have not been affected, that incident there last night, it has an impact, a direct impact on every child, every mother, every father, every citizen in that community, as well as the outlying communities. And so we've asked that schools be suspended for today and tomorrow. I am not sure what systems are going to be put in place for those who are writing CSEC. Because like I said earlier, CSEC is in progress. I'm not sure what systems are going to be put in place, whether they're still going to have them go ahead and write the examinations today, or they're going to work something out with CXC. Of course, Guyana will have to pay for that to have a new paper being reset to accommodate the students in that region.
Leader of the opposition, as we wrap up our broadcast, your final thoughts. I know these are the very, very early hours in a large sense of what's happening here, and you did see it's not a day for politicking, and you're standing in solidarity with the parents and relatives of these children, the community of Mahdia and Region 8 as a whole. Any final thoughts as we wrap up?
My final thought, which I hope the government will accept, is that this incident is so tragic that our independence celebration should become a day of mourning. Rather than celebrating in the usual way, we should take May the 26th, Independence Day, and make it a day of mourning so that we all can be of comfort to the family, pay respect to the dead, wish the injured a speedy recovery, and give us some time to heal and move forward. So my initial call is for Independence Day 2023 to be a day of mourning for the people of Guyana, noting that this tragedy occurred.
Leader of the opposition and the leader of the opposition, Mr. Aubrey Norton, leader of the PNCR, and General Secretary of the Guyana Teachers Union, Member of Parliament, Coretta MacDonald. I want to thank you guys for stopping by and giving us an update and sharing your thoughts with us as well in this week, on this very, very tragic day in our nation's history.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that's our program for this morning. We want to thank you guys for coming by. We're going to continue to update you guys. We're going to be on the podcast at 12 o'clock, and then we're going to update you guys again on our final program for the day. And we have any additional information between those times. We're going to keep you guys updated on all of our main pages and Facebook platforms. I want to thank you guys for being here this morning. It's not our usual program, but under the circumstances, folks, our hearts and our thoughts, our prayers at this end go to the entire region and our country. This is a national tragedy. It is a national tragedy. And as the leader of the opposition says, there should be a national day of mourning where we can put aside political differences and all the other things that separates us on an ordinary day. 20 young lives have been lost here. We don't know if all of them are students as yet. They said the numbers could go up. The numbers could go up. Folks, that's going to do it for us at this end. We're going to see you guys back on our next broadcast. That's going to do it for us at this end. Stay safe, all. Stay safe.